The Limitless method is about sharing knowledge and experience, and we believe that working together as a team is the only way to grow and reach your full potential in sport, business and life. Do you want to be limitless? Welcome back to the Limitless method, or TLM if you will. My name is Jordy and I am your show host. This is our second official podcast. We've made it, we've come this far. We're going to continue making it happen for you guys. Today is episode 1 of a new series that we're going to be covering. We're going to be talking about CBD. Okay, so as we mentioned in our first podcast, episode 1 is going to be a review of literature about the topic, so in this case CBD. Let's get into the review. So, what is CBD? CBD stands for cannabidiol, which is an active ingredient found in the cannabis plant. There are hundreds of other active ingredients within the cannabis plant, but another one we may know is THC. So THC stands for tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay. The difference between these two is that they come from different strains. So CBD is sourced from hemp and THC from cannabis sativa, or otherwise known as marijuana, or we will know it as marijuana. But a common misconception between the two is that CBD will make you high because it's cannabis. This is not particularly the case. THC from cannabis sativa is the one that has the psychoactive effects. So we just thought it was very important to make that clear to you guys. How does CBD work? So CBD acts as a modulator within the endocannabinoid system, or ECS, which is a system found in mammals. The ECS plays a role in keeping the body at homeostasis. So what that means is when something goes a little bit out of balance, so for example temperature, the body triggers a response to that and secretes the relevant hormones to bring the body back to internal balance, let's say. So that is basically how CBD works within our body. By using this system, it modulates that system in order to bring out or keep us at homeostasis, keep us balanced. Benefits of CBD. So there are many suggested benefits for CBD, and that is why we've gone ahead and simplified this podcast to only focusing on one particular benefit. Okay, and we're trying to keep it within the context of exercise and muscle recovery. And without question, the main one is a reduction in inflammation. We know that inflammation causes a prolonged recovery process, and therefore if athletes are trying to look for ways to reduce the time in which their muscles are inflamed, and that's why a lot of athletes have jumped onto the bandwagon of using CBD products. So inflammation, just to touch on inflammation is the body's process of promoting healing to damaged tissues. And within this context, we are talking about muscle tissue. And when muscle tissue is damaged, the body triggers an inflammatory response to the area. So it sends blood flow to the area along with nutrients and oxygen in order to stimulate healing. Okay. Then there are inflammatory markers present when or during this inflammation process, which are thought to stimulate satellite cells, or what we know as stem cells, in the muscle. And these are responsible for the regeneration of the damaged muscle tissue and therefore enhance the recovery process. How CBD comes into play is the inflammatory process, or inflammation, has a downside. And the downside is that when inflammation takes place, it doesn't only target the specific damaged area. There are tissues around that area that are also affected by the inflammation. So what CBD does, in short, is reduce that excess inflammation and reduce the amount that it damages the rest of the tissues around that. So there are 2 inflammatory markers that CBD does not inhibit. So CBD will inhibit all the others that actually end up spreading or cause the spread of the inflammation, and it leaves all but 2, which are IL-10 and TGF-beta. And this results in a reduction in the recovery time. And this is again why athletes have jumped onto it, because they need to get back on the field as soon as possible, and they can't just wait for inflammation to subside. So CBD assists in that process. Other benefits, which we are not going to talk too much about, but just to sum up and wrap up: pain relief through vanilloid receptors, enhanced sleep as well, and the sleep actually falls back into the recovery process. Sleep helps with recovering. So if you can enhance your sleep, you can enhance your recovery process as well. And that is kind of where we're going to wrap up in terms of our review. That is a nice summary of what CBD is about. We will be finding out more in the episodes to come. So next week, we're going to be talking to an expert in the field, where they are just going to add so much value to this particular topic, more than I can as someone who is not an expert in CBD. So stay tuned for next week. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please head over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes. If you have not already, leave a rating and review. This will be so much appreciated. And yeah, stay tuned for next week's discussion. Until then, cheers.